Want to experience one of the most pure bodies of water on the planet and be able to see down into those clear waters on an ultimate lake adventure?
These kayaks are really unique. They are totally 100% clear and transparent. So you could see down through the bottom depths of about 55, 65 feet during your time on the water.
We're kayaking Lake Tahoe, one of the world's clearest lakes and one of the largest alpine lakes in North America, taking on this vast, seemingly bottomless water recreation hub on an insider's tour with local guide Kelsey Weist of Clearly Tahoe.
People will actually paddle the whole way around Lake Tahoe. We actually did it in 5 days last fall.
Wow. We'll learn about the lake's unique geology, as well as why Tahoe is one of the leaders in sustainable travel and responsible recreation. So take a deep breath and let's take in nature by adventuring on this lake straddling California and Nevada in this episode of the Travels with Darley podcast, where locals guide us through spectacular locations. One of the best ways to see one of the most clear bodies of water on the planet is to go kayaking in a clear kayak. It's an experience that I didn't know existed until I traveled to Lake Tahoe in the spring to enjoy mixing spring skiing with lake adventures.
The water temperature in Lake Tahoe does not change much from summer to winter. It always stays pretty chilly. It will warm up in these little coves, but it does generally stay very cold even in the summer months. The water never actually freezes over. With Tahoe being known for so much snow, the water will never freeze over. It may in some of the really shallow coves along the shoreline, but that's about it.
One of the best ways to experience the lake is to get out on the water. Kelsey Weist of Clearly Tahoe is taking me out in their special kayaks. This is a tour that you can book, and for those who want to go it alone, Clearly Tahoe also rents kayaks.
These kayaks are really unique, not just in the sense that they are totally 100% clear and transparent, but they are flat on the bottom. So while they're shaped like a canoe, they are flat on the bottom and it creates a lot more stability. So you could see down through the bottom depths of about 55, 65 feet during your time on the water.
That's Kelsey Weist, who co-founded Clearly Tahoe and is passionate about getting out into nature and helping others to do so in a responsible manner.
They also have a backrest, so they're much, much more comfortable than a normal canoe. And they're not meant for speed or agility. They're mainly meant to really take in your full surroundings, both along the shoreline as well as under the surface. So we're gonna get a chance to explore some really cool stuff today.
We're standing on the sandy beach shoreline of Lake Tahoe, clear waters lapping slowly onto the sands. We've got on our life vests, and I'm wearing my aviator Ray-Bans along with long sleeves and a fleece vest. It's spring in Tahoe, and there's a chill in the air, even in the sun. Green forests line the lake here, and all around the lake are beautiful snow-capped mountains.
When you're out on a clear kayak, you really do get to see more, because what happens is if we look out now, we get to see the color tone of the lake and how there's different shades of blue. Now, when you're out in the clear kayak, what happens is it breaks the surface reflection and allows you to see much more detail. So we'll get to see things such as pyrite in the bottom of the lake.
Kelsey unzips the front of the small backpack on her chest to pull out a golden nugget.
It's in the sand, especially in some of the coves we're going to take you to, and it's fool's gold.
I was going to say, are you taking me on a wild gold chase out here?
No, well, sort of, but it's actually a fake wild gold chase with fool's gold. Now, you're not going to see pieces like this. It's mostly little tiny flakes that you'll see in the sand and be able to actually see that sand glistening like glitter below you.
How cool.
Crossing into two states, California and Nevada, Lake Tahoe is over 22 miles long and 12 miles wide, with a circumference of 72 miles.
I would not recommend jumping out of the kayak, though, and trying to go get any. The water temperature is really cold in Lake Tahoe. It's only about 54 degrees right now.
So glad these are stable.
Yep, they're very stable. You'll stay pretty dry during our time out there. And we have everything that you're going to need in the boats during your time out there. We have small coolers with complimentary waters and granola bars, dry bags, everything. Even blankets to keep your toes warm once you get in the boat.
Instead of plastic, Clearly Tahoe provides complimentary boxed water as an alternative to single-use bottles, so guests can stay hydrated during their experience. So you can choose to bring your own reusable bottle, or have some of their boxed water. South Lake Tahoe has implemented a single-use plastic water ban. It's not just to help the local environment, but it's to show people visiting Lake Tahoe that local residents are serious about keeping Lake Tahoe beautiful and pure.
All right.
So, do you have any questions?
No, I'm ready to get out on the water.
Awesome.
It looks beautiful.
Perfect. We'll help you get in the boat and we'll head on north.
Not only is Lake Tahoe large, it's deep. In the United States, it's second only to Crater Lake in Oregon. In fact, you could sink the entire Empire State Building into the deepest part of the lake, and you wouldn't even see its famous antenna sticking out.
The kayaks do magnify a little bit of what we're looking at. Even though it seems really shallow, it's still about 6 to 8 feet deep right here. People will actually paddle the whole way around Lake Tahoe.
How long does that take?
It takes about 5 days, 4 nights.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We actually did it in 5 days last fall.
Wow.
Not in the clear kayaks, but
Lake Tahoe has been a draw for people for thousands of years, dating back to the Washoe, who camped, hunted, and fished on and around the lake, and considered the waters here sacred. In 1844, explorer John C. Fremont is documented as the first European to spot Lake Tahoe. Called the Pathfinder, Fremont was crossing the Sierra Nevada in winter with little supplies on a mission from Congress to explore the Columbia River region to the Pacific Ocean. He would write, "The purity and deep blue color of the sky are singularly beautiful." Later, Lake Tahoe would see an influx of people during the California Gold Rush.
so in the summertime, where we're paddling right now is actually a sandbar. So you'll be able to walk right from the beach over to that little island right there.
Nice place for sunbathing, huh?
Beautiful spot for sunbathing.
The birds are doing it today.
Right? In the spring, all the water is coming off the mountains, while Lake Tahoe, it's all rain runoff and snowmelt. There's no major rivers or anything that flow into Lake Tahoe. It's about 63 streams or rivers that will flow in to the lake, all from snowmelt. And there's only one flowing out, which is the Truckee River in Tahoe City. That river has a natural lava-formed dam that is what kept a lot of the water in Lake Tahoe in the first place. Tahoe wasn't formed by volcanic activity, but it was formed by fault lines. And that's actually where the development came from.
What Kelsey is saying is important, as Lake Tahoe's waters provide the majority of drinking water for the Reno-Sparks area, making it even more important for visitors to recreate responsibly here. The Tahoe region is a national leader for collaboration around sustainability. Their Destination Stewardship Plan, launched in June of 2023, is a work plan of shared goals that identify 32 actions across 4 strategic pillars, working to foster travel and tourism that gives back and advance a culture of caring for the greater Lake Tahoe region, making the place that so many call home a great place to live and also welcome visitors.
Are you freezing? Are you okay?
I'm shaking a little bit, but I don't think they
We
could tell.
often make people cold on our shoot.
Can you tell I'm shaking by my voice?
I heard you a second ago. You're like,
Yeah.
Often when we film our PBS series and tape for our podcast, we come in and we've had a call or a video conference prior to our arrival, but we haven't met the people we've filmed with before. And they're not actors, they're truly authentic locals who are not always used to being on camera. Because we wear wireless microphones that people wear on their body, it's either stuck to their chest or fastened to their collar, sometimes under their collar, and sometimes even in a hat. Fabrics play a role in the quality of the sound we capture. And sometimes if our on-camera counterparts arrive not wearing natural fibers, those clothing items make too much noise and we have to tell them to take them off or change.
And this little cove that we're heading up to here does have a lot of pyrite in the water.
And that means sometimes, if there's not a lot of time, just removing a jacket. So in Kelsey's case, she had to take her jacket off, and now she's a little cold.
You can actually look down and see some of that pyrite I was talking about a little bit earlier. And a lot of little stones and stuff. Tahoe is mainly, it's all granite. So a lot of that runoff it settles really quickly on the bottom of the lake. So it doesn't murk up the water. It stays pretty clear.
It is incredibly clear.
I know. There are a lot of things that will contribute to the clarity loss in Lake Tahoe. Human development, invasive plants and species, a lot of the road work and runoff from the roads and the gravel will actually contribute greatly to the clarity loss. So the League to Save Lake Tahoe and a lot of local businesses are trying to change the transportation of Lake Tahoe to promote more walking and public transportation, biking, as opposed to driving.
Well, that's good for all of us, right?
Right.
Better to be out on the water than driving down the road.
Right, be active, ride a bike, walk.
Many people who visit Lake Tahoe don't even rent a car. The South Tahoe Airporter is a shuttle service between Reno Tahoe International Airport and many South Shore properties, where travelers can bike, walk, or take public transportation, or the Lake Link free, on-demand microtransit service, allowing for a car-free vacation for people interested in sustainable travel.
Now, while we're out here today, if we see anything floating around on the surface that kind of resembles a seaweed, you might not want to lean over and pick it up out of the fear of tipping over, but let me know and I will. Because what we do is we'll pull that into the boat and I'll look at it and see if it's Eurasian water milfoil or curly leaf pondweed. I have little samples back on the beach. I'll show you when we get back. We have a book that we will actually use to compare those plants and determine if it is an invasive plant. All of our guides will record all that data and submit it back to the League to Save Lake Tahoe through a citizen science app, and they help monitor the spread and help keep Tahoe blue.
Kelsey is part of the League to Save Lake Tahoe, who has been working to keep Tahoe blue and combat things like invasive species since 1957. Today, I don't see anything that would mar the natural beauty of the lake. The sky and the mountains are beautiful as we paddle along. I'm glad that places like this exist, and people like Kelsey are around to guide us, but also play a stewardship role in keeping Tahoe beautiful.
As we paddle up here, we have the National Forest land off to our right, and then the beautiful Sierra Nevada mountain range off to the left there. The highest peak you see is actually going to be Mount Tlac. It's at about 9,000 feet. And then we have Zephyr Cove Resort off behind us. And of course the crystal clear water, and just a great day to be out here paddling.
It's so clear.
Couldn't be better weather out on the water. So if you're traveling to Lake Tahoe, play your role by learning about recreating responsibly. Lake Tahoe Visitors Authority has published Rules to Lake By, which shares ways to leave no trace and pack in what you bring to your lake vacation, and other tips to enjoy Lake Tahoe and leave it blue for generations to come. And while I'm definitely enjoying my short paddling adventure with Kelsey, I'm eager to now view the lake from above, which is why our next podcast will take you on a hiking adventure with another cool local who came to Lake Tahoe on a vacation and decided to stay. I can't imagine why. I'm Darley Newman, and if you enjoy traveling and learning new things, please subscribe to this Travels with Darley podcast, where locals guide us on adventures that share more about culture, history, adventure, and what makes life on the planet Earth just so unique. Thanks for joining me in Tahoe. See you next week. One of the most beautiful places I've ever hiked is featured in this podcast. And I've hiked all over the world.
All desolation wilderness out here,
This is one of the prettiest places I've been, honestly.
It's the Tahoe Rim Trail and Van Sickle Bay State Park. And these trails share views of Lake Tahoe and stunning forests and mountains. Now, whether you like to hike or just want an easy trail where you can quickly get to drop-dead gorgeous views, we've got you covered here with this podcast. I've enlisted a local guide who's going to take us along the trails and share her tips for getting out in nature in a responsible way.
So you came out here for vacation and then you just didn't leave?
Didn't leave. Just really love this area, and once you kind of spend a season here, roots grow quickly.
So take a deep breath and get ready to hike around Lake Tahoe. We're hiking one of the most accessible parks in the Tahoe Basin, Van Sickle Bay State Park. The entrance to these trails is located within a short walking distance of the State Line Nevada resorts and casinos. For those who want a moderately easy hike with awesome views, and even a few boulders you can choose to scramble up, we've got you covered. This hike also connects to the famous Tahoe Rim Trail, which offers miles of trails and truly stunning views of the lake and surrounding mountains. We're venturing out with Morgan Steele of the Tahoe Rim Trail Association. Volunteers from this association will lead you on guided hikes of the Tahoe Rim Trail, whether you want to dip your hiking shoes on the trail or totally dive right in.
From here, you go 3.3 miles to the top where you hit the Rim Trail. The Tahoe Rim Trail is close to 200 miles, the full system. And then from there, you could even connect with the Pacific Crest Trail and go all the way to Mexico if you wanted, or Canada, depending on what you're feeling like.
Feeling like a margarita or feeling like poutine? You have your choice of destinations. You also have your choice of hikes. The Tahoe Rim Trail Association offers options to help you take on the trail on guided tours. You can take a guided day hike, a multi-day backpack trip, or if you're planning on being in the Lake Tahoe area for a few weeks during the summer, you can complete the entire Tahoe Rim Trail, over 165 miles, in 11 day hikes. There's also a 15-day guided trek.
It's neat that this trail is so accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got great connection to public transit, right next to the casino corridor. So if you're staying at the casinos, you can just walk out your hotel room.
Margaritaville, the Golden Nugget, Bally's, Wolf by Vanderpump. There are restaurants, resorts, boutique hotels, casinos, and they're all within a short walk of this state park. So for travelers who want to combine shopping, eating out, and entertainment with nature, the South Shore of Lake Tahoe is a good location. It's also a nice complement for groups who have hikers, bikers, or nature enthusiasts in the family, mixed with those non-outdoor enthusiasts.
This system of trails is fairly recent. The trail that we're on now, the Van Sickle Connector, was completed in 2013. A really cool joint effort amongst all the different partners and agencies. So right now we're on the California Tahoe Conservancy side of the park. The other side is Nevada State Parks, and then up a little bit further is National Forest land. So everyone kind of came together, and then the Tahoe Rim Trail Association really brought in the volunteer force to build the actual trails. The Tahoe Rim Trail Association, we maintain about 200 miles of trail, and we have work days once the snow melts, pretty much 3 days a week. Wow. Anyone can come out. We have real small little kids, have 80-year-old crew leaders that are amazing, kind of runs the gamut.
The views.
Yeah.
You're killing me, Morgan.
It gets better.
Yeah, wow. It's good already.
Got to scramble some rocks up here, but there's a nice flat one up here.
We're hiking along sandy footing with views of a tall canopy of conifers and big granite rocks and big blue skies above us. It's late spring in Tahoe, and the trails here are free of snow. But as we ascend up, we get pockets of views of the bright blue lake and snow-capped mountains in the distance.
Morgan, why do you like coming out to hike here in the Tahoe area?
Yeah, there's just so much it has to offer. You can do some really intense uphill climbs. You can get out to lakes. You can go biking. There's just a lot of different variety with the trail system in the Tahoe Basin, which makes it kind of something for everyone.
What are some tips for people to come out here and practice leave no trace?
Yeah, that's a great question. And one of the things that we really try to encourage trail users to do is just do their prep work ahead of time.
This prep work may involve checking the local weather conditions before you set off on a hike, or checking for trail conditions due to wildfires, and more. The official websites and social media handles are good places to get information before you take off in nature. Many parks and destinations also now require reservations or permits, so you want to make sure you have one before you head out. In popular parks, you may need reservations months in advance, so check when you think about planning a trip to see what's available. The park or forest website can guide you to reservations, and recreation.gov is a website that offers the ability to book at parks, national forests, campgrounds, and other sites. Lake Tahoe Visitors Authority has also launched Rules to Live By, which features 5 ways to practice responsible tourism specifically at Lake Tahoe, as a resource for travelers and locals who want to enjoy the lake.
The Tahoe Rim Trail sees more than 440,000 people annually, so if everyone leaves their garbage, we're gonna have a garbage dump. So Leave No Trace Center for Outdoor Ethics, tons of information, but really simple things like, things you'd get yelled at home if you did by your mom, like pick up after yourself and make sure that you leave things how you found them. That's a big one for us out here too. Like there's these incredible sugar pine cones, and if we all took one, the next person wouldn't get a chance to see them.
Yeah, so get a picture with it and then leave it there.
Yeah.
And those pine cones are pretty cool, and they rest along the ground just along the trails. Some are the size of my head. Our crew gets our photos and lays them back down for the next hiker to enjoy.
The other piece around here is really just being prepared. A lot of folks don't really realize you're at elevation, you need a lot of water. They don't really come with those sort of supplies, even on a short hike. Bring those poop bags for your dog, clean up after them too, that's a big one. Making sure, you're not leaving any of those things out in the woods. But the big things are pretty self-explanatory, and you should know those. We pick up after ourselves, and leave it as great as you found it is a really big one. You'll see, it's pretty incredible out here and really well maintained, and we have a lot of volunteers and trail users that we have to thank for that. And we just want to make sure it's like this for the next person who uses it. Another big thing too is we have lots of different types of users. So this trail, especially in the afternoon during the summer, gets really busy with bikes coming down. So just being friendly and making sure that people can get around each other.
Common courtesy.
Yeah, exactly.
Being prepared is pretty simple once you think through what you may need for your hiking adventure.
Having a map, having water, sunscreen, extra layers, letting somebody know when to expect you back, those sort of kind of standard things that, for folks who live up here, we're pretty used to, but when you're new to trails, it's a good thing to plan ahead and kind of really think through.
If you're staying to camp, there are also considerations.
We're out in the West where it dries out a lot during the summer. So we always try to make sure people understand campfire restrictions and just fire in general out here, because that's a huge issue for us. So
a popular spot for hikers and mountain bikers. This park's views may just take your breath away.
Just do a bit of a leap.
Oh, wow. You're making me work for it today.
We climb up a large series of boulders to check out the vista over a line of treetops in the distance, jumping across a small crevice in the rocks.
But look what you worked for.
Oh my gosh, wow. This is the tops, Morgan.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah. And then you've got all Desolation Wilderness out here just with all the snow still hanging in. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
I guess I can see why so many people move out here.
Yeah, it's a hard place to leave when you move out here. I moved out here to ski many years ago, and I haven't left yet. And I'm probably never going to.
This is one of the prettiest places I've been. Honestly, it really is.
It's a really nice combination of lakes, mountains. So you've got beaches in the summer, incredible trails, mountain biking, hiking, and then during the winter, all this world-class skiing. So kind of something for everybody around here.
Yeah.
And then in the spring, you have quiet trails like we have today, where just, your own little piece of paradise.
Yeah, our own little place. I haven't seen that many people out. It's like we have our own private forest to explore.
I can't guarantee that during the middle of the summer. So if you're looking for solitude, I would say maybe September, May, early June. Get a little busy. Everyone wants to enjoy Tahoe in the middle of the summer when it's, especially, we're so close to Sacramento, and Sacramento can be 100 degrees. So come up here where our really hot days are high 80s, 90s, really low 90s. So
beautiful.
A little bit of respite from the heat. took me many years, but I actually completed the entire Tahoe Rim Trail. I'd spent a lot of time building pieces of trail in one spot many times, but hadn't made it all the way around. But I recommend that as an option as well. If you've got, 2 weeks, come out, backpack the whole trail. It's also a fun way to experience Tahoe.
Well, thanks to all your hard work and all the volunteers with your organization, because it makes it possible for people like me to come here on vacation and enjoy some great hiking.
Yeah, our volunteers are really incredible, and it's just really a community effort between all of the land managing partners out here. Everyone kind of works together, especially when you're in a place that we really want to protect, like Lake Tahoe. It's really important, and our community has really supported all of our trail building efforts. Even just the land we're on now, this is the Van Sickle Park. It's all part of a donated piece of land from the Van Sickle family, a really big community effort where they provided the land. California Tahoe Conservancy purchased a piece to build the bi-state park. And then all of our community rallied to build the trails in here and support the Rim Trails efforts to get all the equipment and the volunteers out to build this really neat trail system.
A trail system, taking you into stunning Lake Tahoe nature. Lake Tahoe straddles the California and Nevada border. If you're traveling to enjoy adventures around one of the world's largest, deepest, and clearest mountain lakes, you can fly into the Reno Tahoe Airport, about an hour's drive from Lake Tahoe. Many people also road trip from Los Angeles along Highway 395. However you get here, keep in mind that if you want to hike these trails in the Van Sickle Bi-State Park, you can walk to them. So consider making your Tahoe vacation a sustainable, car-free one. And if you liked this podcast, listen to my previous podcast on kayaking Lake Tahoe in clear kayaks. And stay tuned for another podcast on other ways to enjoy a Lake Tahoe vacation. I'm Darley Newman, and I enjoy traveling the world to share firsthand information that I get from experiencing a place myself with locals as the guides. Thanks for listening, and if you like this podcast, please subscribe, and please share it with your friends.